Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the Astra Militarum in Warhammer 40,000 using the Death Korps of Krieg Combat Patrol box set as a starting point. Then throughout the video we'll look to expand upon this initial box and build a starting 1000 point army up from it. The Death Korps of Krieg is the name given to all of the Astra Militarum regiments that originate from the devastated post-atomic death world of Krieg in the Segmentum Tempestus. They are most commonly deployed in the war zones of the Segmentum Tempestus and Segmentum Solar and are particularly skilled at attrition trench warfare, sieges and assaults upon heavily fortified static positions, and warfare in extreme environments known for their biological, chemical and radioactive hazards. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. And so, before we get looking into what's in this initial box, we are going to talk a little bit about the army rules for the Astra Militarum. Now, the Astra Militarum focuses around one main rule, which is the voice of command. If your army faction is Astra Militarum, officer models with this ability can issue orders. Each officer's data sheet will specify how many orders it can issue in a battle round and which units are eligible to receive those orders. Each time an officer model issues an order, you can select one of the orders that are listed and then select an eligible friendly unit within 6 inches of that officer to be the receiving model. Officers can only issue orders in your command phase and at the end of a phase in which they disembark from a transport or were set up on the battlefield. Until the start of your next command phase, the unit you selected is affected by the order you issue it. Unless otherwise stated, a unit can only be affected by one order at a time. Any order subsequently issued to that unit replaces the current one, so you can sort of modify what you're doing as the game evolves somewhat. Orders cannot be issued to battle-shocked units, and if a unit is being affected by an order becomes battle-shock, it ceases to have its order issued. Only Astra Militarum models gain the benefit of the order, so any sort of allies you bring into your units, things like Inquisitors for example, will not gain them. Now you do have a large variety of these different orders available. First of all, we have Move, which is just a basic bonus to the movement of your units, plus 3 inches. Affix Bayonet, and you improve the weapon skill characteristic of models equipped by this unit by 1. You've got Take Aim, improves your ballistic skill by 1. First rank fire, second rank fire allows your rapid fire weapons to improve their attacks characteristic. Take cover allows your units to gain a bonus to their save characteristic, and duty and honor will improve your leadership and objective control by 1. These are all really good. They focus around the basic sort of core stats of the game. Generally, your Astra Militarum units aren't that powerful in their own right. You generally don't have the best stats in the game, but you are relatively cheap. Having these officers to be able to issue orders sort of improves your units in that little bit of way to sort of make them compete with at least the basic troops of some of the more elite factions in the game. And so the first unit we get inside the initial box set is a Krieg Command Squad. This will contain a unit of guardsmen, or veteran guardsmen rather, that are led by a Lord Commissar. The Lord Commissar itself is the character that will be leading the sort of force that we have, and you've got a large variety in ways you can equip this unit. First of all, they are, basic sort of stat line of what you expect. You've got 5+ save, toughness 3, 6-inch move. You do have a leadership of 6+, while a Commissar is in the unit, otherwise it will be 7+, and both models types have OC1, though you do have 3 wounds on the Commissar rather than the standard 1 on those veteran guardsmen. Now this unit in general is going to sort of be a central point you can use in your force. It can be a leader unit and able to lead your Krieg Combat Engineers or Death Korps or Krieg basic troop units. And this means you can, increase the numbers by quite a bit. You do have some options in the unit enabling you to equip a various bunch of models with different weapons. You've got the guardsman able to take some specialist weapons, which is nice. Your commissar can be equipped with a power fist. You've also got the options to take some power weapons within the unit as well to give you a little bit more combat punch. Now they do have the voice of command ability, and grim determination means when this unit contains an officer, you can target this unit with stratagems even while it's battle shocked, and orders issued to his unit don't cease to effect. This is massively impactful. You generally don't have the best leadership in general. 7, is pretty much your standard, so you aren't going to fail battle shock tests pretty much 50% of the time throughout your army, so this can be a massive help. You've also got the sort of members of the command squad that have various different abilities. So our chemical counter agents gives you feel no pain against mortal wounds. You've also got the ability to boost your objective control from regimental standard when you combine that with an officer's order to make the unit joins just really super good at controlling objectives. Now you can issue one order per this unit. And it can issue the order to a regiment unit. So regiment units can be a large variety of different units. This includes both our Krieg combat engineers and the Korps of Krieg, along with Krieg heavy weapon squads as well, but does contain a large variety of other units such as Cadians, Kadachan jungle fighters as well, your basic Kazakin, Tempest Aquilons as well, and quite a few units. Now moving on, we then have the basic Korps of Krieg. These are sort of going to be the main part of our force as we move forward. Yes, you can combine the Korps with other sort of factions, but the aim of this army, especially with this initial box set, is going to be to build a full Korps of Krieg army. And so the Korps of Krieg are a basic unit. They do have OC2, which is really nice, meaning they can boost that with an officer order to OC3, potentially with a regimental standard as well, getting even more bonuses to the OC if you do choose to have your command squad join the unit. For every 10 models you can have some special weapons, including longlands, which are cool little sniper rifles. You then got the ability to take some medipacks in the unit as well, and voxcasters as well. They have grim demeanor as well, so each time a model unit makes an attack, you add 1 to the hit roll if it's below its starting strength, and you get +1 to wound as well if they're below half strength, so they get more powerful as they start taking damage. The Voxcaster is really cool as it allows you to potentially refund CP, while there's 1 or more friendly officers within 6 inch, and your medipack there as well allows you to heal the unit as it starts taking damage. Now, all in all, this is, a basic troop unit. They've not really got much punch. They do come standard with your basic las guns, so they're punching out, relatively low percentage shots, but there are going to be an awful lot of them. They're not that expensive at the time of running, and you can't see the cost of them increasing overly that much that's going to affect that too much. Now moving on, we then have the basic Korps of Krieg. These are sort of going to be the main part of our force as we move forward. Yes, you can combine the Korps with other sort of factions, but the aim of this army, especially with this initial box set, is going to be to build a full Korps of Krieg army. And so the Korps of Krieg are a basic unit. They do have OC2, which is really nice, meaning they can boost that with an officer order to OC3, potentially with a regimental standard. Death Riders are the next unit, and this is a Korps of Krieg cavalry unit, a mounted unit for the other. Death Riders have always been something that the Korps of Krieg have been renowned for having. They're a really cool looking sort of post-apocalyptic cavalry unit, which is just awesome. Toughness 4 is nice, and a 4+ save, making them much more elite stat-wise, with 2 wounds as well, as you'd expect for like a cavalry unit. They come equipped with their Death Rider las carbines, which are an assault weapon. This does give you the ability to advance and shoot with the unit, packing out 2 shots each, though only at strength 3 with no AP and damage 1. They're not the highest quality shots, but still being able to move that much more with such a fast unit with its 10-inch base move is really nice. You've also got quite a few attacks from the models in there as well, with the fact that you have your frag lancers and power sabers as standard weapon options. This does enable you to sort of change how you want to fight. The frag lancers do have the lance keyword on them, but their big thing is D6 attacks. These are going to be something you can use against a horde of enemy infantry and really do some damage, while your power sabers do have that -2 AP, so if you're needing to crack through something that little bit harder, they're probably the way to go. Regardless of which weapon option you choose though, you do get your steeds Savage Claws, which have the extra attacks rule, meaning you get those attacks with one of the other two weapons regardless of, what you're doing there. Now the screening line special rule means once per turn when an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback move within a 9 inch and this unit's not within engagement range, you can make a normal move of 6 inch. This is incredibly powerful as it does allow you to dictate how you're sort of playing with the game. You need to use this in the right sort of moment. If your opponent's going to move multiple units near your death core, you need to be mindful of that so you don't sort of get caught not having the movement distance away from your opponent that you want. Though, being able to, your opponent moves in, they're at only outside an inch, all of a sudden they've got a 7 inch charge instead to enable you to get the charge instead. To get those bonuses with the Lance special rule really can help swing the tide of battle. Lastly, we have the Krieg Heavy Weapons Squad. This is your Death Corps Krieg troopers that are going to be wielding heavy weapons, and the Krieg one does have its own unique special weapons. First of all, they're going to come to standard with las cannons, which does mean they're going to provide you with some really good anti-armor, though the las cannons do hit worse than some of the other weapons. Then you've got other cool options from a twin Krieg Heavy Stubble, which just packs out a serious amount of firepower. Or you've got the Krieg Heavy Flames if you want to play with something that's going to get guaranteed hits, not worry about, the bad ballistic skill that you can have with basic troopers. Now, what's cool as well with that Krieg Heavy Flame is it is AP -1 and damage 2, so these can be incredibly powerful. But I do think in the initial box set here, definitely going for something that's going to give you some anti-armor like the las cannons could be a really massive thing. The final duty rule means while the unit's fire coordinator is alive, which is a special sort of fourth model the unit's going to get, each time a heavy weapons gunner is removed, you can roll a d6 on a 3+, do not remove it from play, it can then shoot, and then it is removed. This is pretty cool because it does mean if your opponent starts trying to target them, you've got a decent chance that you is going to strike out before your opponent removes them. Now, where to go next? We're definitely going to look at the other sort of basic Krieg unit that we have, and that is the Krieg Combat Engineers. These are more basic troops with a 4+ save, so they're that little bit more elite. You've also got the options for a large variety of different weapons. They come with auto pistols and trench clubs as standard, though it can swap out to have the assault shotguns, which I think are a particularly cool weapon to have access to. The combat shotguns here, 2 attacks, 4s to hit, strength 4, no AP, damage 1, are really going to help the unit pack out some good firepower. Along with some special weapons in there and the access to flamers. You've also got the remote mine as well, which is really cool. Can get some mortal wounds against enemy units nearby. Yeah, and your Grenadier's special rule means once per turn you can also target them with the grenade stratagem for 0 CP. Now, this unit is definitely going to be sort of something you want in your forward moving force. Scout 6 inch is going to help with that as a core special rule they have access to. And they're going to sort of be that unit that likes to fight up close, but depending on how you equip, not necessarily in combat. And definitely if they've got trench clubs, they're probably going to be more geared towards combat. You can take some things like power weapons and chainswords on models in the unit and your Watchmaster. Though, for me, I think equipping them for a short-range firepower unit with those combat shotguns, the flamer and stuff like that, is where they really strive. Now, something we really do lack in the initial box there is some true armor. I think the Rogel Dawn battle tank is where I would go next. This is a pretty powerful tank that can be equipped to either deal with anti-infantry, anti-armor, or be a good sort of midway, versatile, all-comers tank as well. For me, I think when we're looking at this force, we are going to look at bringing some more anti-armor, with the heavy weapon squads being the only true anti-armor we have at this point. This thing can really pack out the firepower with the access to plenty of melter weaponry from 2 melter guns and 2 multi-melters as standard. You've also then got the option of your twin battle cannon, which is a strength 10 D6+3 shot weapon, to swap that out for an oppressor cannon. The oppressor cannon's a really cool strength 12 gun. That's probably where I'm going to go. And that also gives you the coaxial auto cannon there, another couple of strength 9 damage 3 shots as well. Now, when we look at this, We've also got the ablative plating, which is going to help keep this model alive. This potentially allows you to reduce the damage characteristic of an attack coming in to 0 once per battle. Really important, especially early game, if your opponent's going to try and alpha strike it with some super powerful weaponry. I'm thinking things like Knight Titans are trying to shoot it, or even things like Wraith Knights and other anti-armor. This could be a great way to sort of just knock off that damage and keep it alive for what you need it to do your counter strike, and just hit back that little bit harder. Now, bringing such a powerful tank to the battlefield is going to require us to have something to help support it, and in that case we've gone with the Tech Priest Engine Seer. This is a model that we can have trotting along with our tank. The fact we want our tank to be a little bit anti-armor is probably going to mean, you know, we can keep this Tech Marine running alongside behind it. Now, you've got a large variety of different abilities. First of all, you do gain Lone Operative while you're near a vehicle within 3 inch of one, which is really cool. This helps protect the engines here. The Omniscience Blessing as well allows you to potentially heal this model each of your command phases, and also give it a 4-up invulnerable, making it a really solid defensible tank. Vengeance of the Omniscience is pretty cool as well, though it is, you know, at times not going to do much for you, but can be a cool rule nonetheless, where if a vehicle is slain near this model, you do go to an attacks characteristic of 6 for your Omniscire Axe, which can be pretty fun to hit out with. But all in all, this is a piece that's going to really just be there to help get the most out of your tank, keep it alive that little bit longer with that invulnerable save and the healing. And lastly, for the Force, we definitely are going to look to bring in some expansion to those initial units in the initial box set. More basic Death Korps of Krieg, Death Riders, and heavy weapons. We don't cost an awful lot of points with these models, so you're going to probably want to grab more of each of those and expand upon those units, even grabbing seconds of those units as well, to bring as much punch and as many bodies to the table as possible. And so our list today that we're going to look at is going to go with the Combined Arms Detachment. This gives us Born Soldiers, where each time a model in a regiment unit from your army makes a ranged attack that targets a visible unit excluding monsters or vehicle, they gain lethal hits. This is really important when we consider we don't have a lot of higher strength weapons. We're relying on strength 3, so lethal hits with the amount of shots we can put out is going to be incredibly powerful. And each time a squadron unit in your army makes a ranged attack that targets a visible monster or vehicle, that attack gains lethal hits. So it's going to require our infantry to shoot everything that's not monster and vehicle, and our monster and vehicles to shoot monsters and vehicles. For characters in our force, now we have the Krieg Command Squad with 6 models in the unit, and our Lord Commissar has gone with a plasma pistol and power weapon, while our veteran guardsman has a grenade launcher on one of them, and the other one will have a power weapon and plasma pistol as well. We then also got the Tech Priest Engine Seer in there. For battle line, we've then got 2 units of 20 Death Korps of Kriegs. These will have Watchmasters with power weapons and plasma pistols, many packs of Boxcasters within the unit, and then we've got 2 troopers in each unit with grenade launchers, and 2 troopers in each unit with plasma guns for our special weapons. For other infantry, we've then got the Krieg Combat Engineer Squad with 10 models, a Watchmaster once again with plasma pistol and power weapon. They've gone for combat shotguns here, and then we've got a model with a flamer and another with a remote mine. We've then got our Krieg Heavy Weapon Squad with all models in the unit except the little helper equipped with las cannons. For mounted, we've then gone for 2 units of Death Riders. One of these is going to have 10 models in the unit, being our real sort of heavy hitting unit. The other one with 5. These are going to be, you know, really important in dictating around the battlefield how we sort of play, giving us some fast pace. Well, then finishing up, we've got a bit more anti-armor in the form of the Rogel Dawn battle tank with its pulverizer cannon, the melter guns, multi-melters, and the oppressor cannon with co-axial autocannon there as well. We hope that you found this video helpful in getting started with Warhammer 40,000, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any further questions, please comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all of our future Warhammer 40,000 content.